de l'image, nous rendons compte.
Hi, sir, to all of you viewers of Equinoxe Television. It's 6 p.m. in Douala, and it's time for the news. We thank you so much for always being with us. Our major stories this evening: the CRM political party has petitioned the African Union, accusing the Cameroonian government of an unconstitutional change of government and demanding sanctions. The party cites the new vice president's law, which lets an appointed VP complete the president's term of office without an election, plus repeated postponements of legislative and municipal elections since 2024. That petition was signed by Professor Maurice Kamto on April 23. We will be bringing to you details in this news edition. And also, Cameroon launches a population census more than 2 decades after the last head count was carried out in the country. That was in 2025. Viewers, those were our lead stories. Details when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for always being with us. Thank you for your usual confidence. We told you in the headlines that Cameroon has launched its 4th population census more than 2 decades after the last one took place in 2005, rekindling concerns over prolonged delays and outdated data. Only 3 such exercises have ever been conducted, that was in 1976, 1987, and in 2005, leaving significant gaps in national statistics across the littoral region. Enumerators are now deploying in a nationwide effort. Authorities say it is critical to reset planning with accurate and up-to-date population figures. Innocent Azza spoke to a census official in Douala on how the operation will be conducted and compiled this report for the news.
Cameroon finally launches its 4th population and housing census 21 years after the last count in 2005. While authorities present it as a crucial tool for development, questions persist over years of delay and the reliability of data used to govern a fast-growing population. From Douala to the rest of the national territory, the operation has now entered what officials describe as its most decisive phase, the main enumeration stage. After weeks of preparation, census agents are deploying across neighborhoods tasked with counting every individual in an exercise authorities insist must be exhaustive. We are now in the most visible phase of the operation, which is the main enumeration. Training of supervisors started 2 months ago, followed by enumerators, and today all teams are ready and deployed.
Elles sont mobilisées pour commencer effectivement le travail.
On the ground, however, the first days are not yet about counting. Teams are instead identifying households, mapping boundaries, and assessing their workloads, steps meant to ensure the process runs within the limited time frame. The scale is significant. The country has been divided into nearly 26,000 enumeration areas, each assigned to an agent, with urban zones covering about 1,000 inhabitants. The nationwide enumeration phase runs from April 24th to May 29th, 2026, a 35-day period during which agents are expected to reach every household across the country. Authorities also highlight a major shift. This census is fully digital. The use of digital tools will improve data quality and allow faster transmission to central services.
Parce qu'il faut le dire, cette opération est numérique.
But beyond the innovation, challenges remain. Cameroon has not conducted a census since 2005, raising concerns among observers about outdated statistics that have guided public policy for over 2 decades. In rapidly expanding cities like Douala, where informal settlements continue to grow, accurately capturing population figures may prove difficult. Authorities say success will depend largely on public cooperation.
Ces derniers vont s'appuyer sur les autorités traditionnelles.
We expect populations to welcome agents and provide accurate information. This is essential for reliable national data.
Qui facilite même l'hébergement des agents qui seront amenés à travailler dans leur zone.
As enumeration begins, the stakes are high because beyond the numbers, this census could redefine how Cameroon plans its future if it delivers the accuracy it promises.
To another lead story, the CRM political party has petitioned the African Union accusing the Cameroonian government of an unconstitutional change of government and demanding sanctions. The party cites the new vice president's law, which lets an appointed vice president complete the president's term in office without an election, and also repeated postponement of legislative and municipal elections since 2024. Signed by Professor Maurice Kamto of the CRM political party on April 23, the petition claims this act violates AU democracy charters and risks a serious political crisis. For me, I'm Strong Sanda with more.
In a press release issued Wednesday, April the 23rd, 2026, and signed by its national president, Professor Maurice Kamto, the opposition party said it had referred the matter to the chairperson of the African Union Assembly of Heads of State and Government, as well as the chairperson of the African Union Commission, through a memorandum and correspondence dated April the 20th, 2026. The CRM party is requesting the African Union to activate measures provided for against unconstitutional changes of government, which it argues have taken the form of a constitutional coup in Cameroon. The party's petition hinges primarily on law number 2026/004 of April the 14th, 2026, which created the post of Vice President of the Republic. Under the reform, the Vice President is appointed by the incumbent President and, in the event of a vacancy or permanent incapacity, completes the presidential term of office without standing for election. The arrangement thus allows the President of the Republic, elected by a universal suffrage, to designate a successor who would exercise the highest office without going through an election, the CRM party stated. The party argues that this violates the democratic principle that the sovereign people chooses their leader and contravenes Article 64 of the Cameroonian Constitution, which prohibits violations of democratic principles. The CRM party also raised the issue of repeated postponement of legislative and municipal elections since 2024. The party noted that the delays have kept elected officials in office beyond their mandate without electoral scrutiny, leading to what it describes as an erosion of the legitimacy of representative institutions. The CRM party therefore contends that two issues, notably the non-elective succession mechanism and the prolonged suspension of local and parliamentary elections, constitute an unconstitutional change of government under the African Union principles. It cited Article 4 of the African Union's Constitutive Act, which condemns and rejects unconstitutional changes, and Article 3 and 4 of the African Union Charter on Democracy, Elections and Governance, to which Cameroon is a state party. According to the party, the current situation immediately and durably increases the risk of a serious political crisis with direct implications for peace, security, and national cohesion. The CRM party calls on all Cameroonians without distinction who are committed to respect of the Constitution, democratic principles, and the rule of law to remain focused and vigilant so that indifference or distraction does not facilitate the establishment of a monarchy in Cameroon. As of press time, the government of Cameroon had not issued an official response to the CRM party's petition to the African Union.
In other news, Cameroonians continue to complain of difficult access to basic necessities such as electricity and potable water. Officials of NAO and CamWater are meeting in the town of Marwa in the far north region to address the problem of water scarcity and also frequent blackouts which have affected the inhabitants for the past weeks. The locals now have to cover long distances, according to them, to neighboring villages just to get water, the precious liquid. Mala Glory takes us to the town of Marwa in this report.
This is Marwa in the far north region of Cameroon. Getting water here is not just a challenge but a daily struggle. Many have to cover long distances in search of the precious liquid. Adding to their difficulties is that of frequent power outage.
sur toute l'étendue.
The lack of constant power supply in the region, and especially in the town of Marwa, has greatly contributed to the water crisis.
Ce qui a perturbé énormément la desserte en eau de la ville de Marwa.
Mais la chaleur.
Temperatures in Marwa have recently exceeded 45 degrees centigrade. At night, many people are sleeping outdoors to escape the heat.
De l'eau.
The regional director of ENEO attributes the lack of electricity to shortage of water, which the Lac de Dam has been unable to produce for the past months.
Le taux de vidange du lac d'aujourd'hui est de l'ordre de...
As of today, the Lac de Dam is 80% empty, leaving 20% reserved to sustain water needs through the current drought until the start of the rainy season.
Voire carrément à la fin du mois.
These challenges were discussed in a meeting that brought together officials of ENEO and Camwater to find possible solutions.
De vandalisme, d'où en fait.
Acts of vandalism has led people to steal ENEO equipment for their personal use.
Les uns et des autres pour que chacun.
The water crisis in Marwa and other major cities like Douala, Yaoundé and Bamenda has reached a critical point, leading many to question if the country's water system has collapsed.
In health, we come back to this report on how to detect and handle preeclampsia. In pregnant women, we know that 1 out of 10 women in Cameroon die from preeclampsia, a serious hypertensive condition that can occur during pregnancy. Women with twins are particularly at risk, with incidence of 10.1% and 8.9% respectively happening in hospitals across the country. And to raise awareness among pregnant women, healthcare professionals met in Douala so as to help reduce the risk of preeclampsia and save lives of pregnant women and new mothers. Let's now have more with Cedric Chakutu.
In Cameroon, 1 out of 10 women die of preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is the most common and serious hypertensive disorder in pregnancy. Its mortality rate remains high in developed countries and even higher in African countries.
Preeclampsia is a multi-systemic disease where the first symptom is increase of blood pressure above 140 for the systolic and 90 for the diastolic. When this increase in blood pressure is accompanied by certain symptoms, including reduced urine flow, including headache, which does not respond to usual treatment, including blurred vision and other things like epigastric pain, it is termed as severe preeclampsia or preeclampsia with severe features.
Preeclampsia is frequently observed in women carrying twins or macrosomic fetuses with frequencies of 10.1% and 8.9% respectively. Multiparous women who presented preeclampsia often had hypertension or diabetes, eclampsia being the main maternal complication.
One of the reasons is that poor access to quality care. Many women who are still delivering in the hospital or in centers with suboptimal material, equipment, and human resources.
To determine the prevalence of preeclampsia and describe its complications, a symposium mixed of gynecologists and other experts was organized at Lakentini Hospital in Douala.
The best prevention for the population is to go for hospital whenever you are pregnant. Because when you are pregnant, they will establish your profile as a woman. Now, when they have established your profile, we will see whether they give you some drugs to prevent the disease or whether they simply monitor your blood pressure at each consultation. So the best way to prevent it is antenatal care whenever you are pregnant.
Experts report a higher risk in women over 30, that is multiparous women having had at least 5 births.
Quand vous avez une première grossesse, quand vous avez des grossesses multiples, c'est-à-dire des jumeaux ou des grossesses triples, si vous avez des antécédents personnels ou familiaux d'hypertension artérielle ou de prééclampsie, l'obésité, les antécédents de maladies rénales chroniques.
According to experts, efforts are on the way to improve diagnosis and care, particularly to detect the disease before eclampsia attacks.
And inhabitants of Pola village in the Bangem subdivision have expressed dissatisfaction as a farm-to-market road project that was supposed to be done or carried out from Mwange to Pola was hijacked somehow by local authorities. And as a result, the inhabitants go through tough times in transporting food or foodstuff from the farm to the market and on deplorable roads. In the report which comes up next, Manjikan Gabriel takes us to Poala village, where life has become really difficult.
It's about 2 kilometers to the twin lake of Kupemaninguba in the southwest region. Pola is a village in the Nha clan of Bangem subdivision. Recognized as a paramount village of the Nha clan, it serves as one of the custodians of the famous Maninguba Twin Lakes, which have significant cultural and traditional importance to the Bakosi people, being part of the Bakosi mountain areas characterized by volcanic soil and a rich mountainous landscape. Residents of Pola are primarily involved in agriculture, cultivating crops like cassava, cocoa, coffee and plantains. Unfortunately, the plantains which are cultivated sometimes remain along the road for several weeks until even get bad, all because the access road into Pola village is in a very poor state. Traveling along this farm-to-market road from Pola to Mwange remains a hectic one for the road users.
Roads! It will kill me.
The road will send us to our early graves. We have struggled to be here, but we are unable to return to our places. A lot of cash crops are here, but we are unable to transport them outside. I'm begging the government, Paul Biya in particular, to be worried about everyone and not a particular site. Send your agents everywhere. With everyone off the car still finds it difficult to move. Commercial motorcycles, which remain the only hope for the people, is also having difficulties on the road. At one point, they also get bad. The inhabitants of Pola, who were happy when they noticed that their road will soon be repaired, had their joy short-lived as they later learned that it was transferred to somewhere else where a community hall has been built instead of the road to be constructed. The natives say they will not let anything go.
That road is a major aspect in the development of Pola and all the Ngia environment. So we are so bent to see that that road is possible, and that is why we will not bend to anything that is there to jeopardize the smooth running. The government has instituted that road should be constructed. We are here to whatever has been is ours. We will claim it, and we want to make sure that that road maintains the status that has been given.
Apart from being an agri hub, Pola is also a touristic site where if the road is rehabilitated, visitors will come regularly.
Like 2 kilometers from Pola to Maninguba, and you see Maninguba being developed, it's going to increase a lot. It's going to be meaningful to the Pola community in the sense that if Maninguba is developed, there's going to be, ready employment. They will need people, who do one thing or the other, and we ourselves, that is our area. So we will be so happy to make sure that as Maninguba is being developed, we are part of the development. Development doesn't go by itself. Development goes with the people.
At the Pola annual convention that took place in the village, natives used the occasion to ask for the roads to be constructed.
Satisfaction and fulfillment. As the President General of POCDA, I think I achieved one objective: to rally Pola sons and daughters home and abroad together around a common vision to make Pola great again.
The people of Pola are now waiting for an urgent reaction from the government about their road project that was hijacked to another locality for the construction of a community hall.
And in news out of our national frontiers, former Senegalese President Macky Sall's recent discourses revealed the leadership philosophy rooted in the belief that Africa's progress is inseparable from global systematic reforms by intertwining the domestic success of the Plan Senegal Emergent PSE with urgent calls for a new economic deal. Macky Sall challenges the international community to move beyond its breadth, move towards true partnership. More on that with Law Maero.
After an interview of DW with Macky Sall, he emphasized his transformative impact on Senegal through the Plan Senegal Emergency. He defends his record by highlighting massive investment in infrastructure such as regional express train, the Blaise-Diagne International Airport, and the major highway expansions. For Sall, these projects were not mere prestige spending, but essential foundations for long-term economic sovereignty, urging that no nation can achieve industrialization without first modernizing its transport and energy network. On security crisis and global responsibilities, the former president expressed deep concern regarding the security situation in the Sahel, describing terrorism as a pledge that halts all development efforts. He urged that the fight against jihadist urgency is not just an African issue but a global security imperative that requires more than robust response from the international community. Especially, he calls for a reform for the UN Security Council to allow for a more proactive and permanent military solution to protect vulnerable states in West Africa. Over new economic deals for Africa, Sall advocates for a complete overhaul of the international financial architecture, which he believes currently penalizes African nations through high interest rates and unfair risk perspectives. He stresses his importance on energy justice, insisting that Africa must be allowed to use its gas resources for industrialization while transitioning towards green energy. Since leaving office, he continues to champion these causes as a global envoy, positioning Africa as a central partner in the fight against climate change rather than a passive recipient of it.
In sports, the under-20 Lionesses have begun camping at the Feka Foods Technical Center in Ocha in Yaoundé in preparation for the fourth round qualifier games of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. The Lionesses will take on Tanzania in the month of May. Meanwhile, the FENASCO A games will end this weekend in the West region. The Center region is leading the medal count ahead of the closing ceremony. It's Magic and Gabriel with our weekend sports package.
The under-20 Lionesses began with a 1-4 defeat in the hands of Grace Football Academy as they commenced preparation for the upcoming qualifiers for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. The result wasn't a good one for the coach of the team, but he was satisfied with the output. I would say that I'm satisfied with what I saw. Yes, but in terms of the result, you know, taking 4 goals is not good for the morale, but I think that I'm satisfied. We are working on a project. First of all, for this friendly match, the relationship between the defense and the midfield, I saw that the girls really reacted well. We shall remain focused. 25 under-20 Lionesses are in camp since Monday, and on each day, the coach works with a specific team. We were having a hard time at the athletic level. That is why you saw the girls were having a hard time at the level of transition. But I think we are on the right track. There is no fire burning. We are going to do a good job. I think that by Sunday, we'll have another friendly match. As I said, I am not worried. The under-20 Lionesses will play against Tanzania home and away, with the winner automatically qualifying for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup to be played in Poland. Out of football, the FENASCO A Games for colleges comes to a final full stop this weekend in Bangante and Bafoussam, West Region of Cameroon. During a visit to the Bangante venue of the event, where teachers training colleges are competing, the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Pauline Nalova-Lyonga, was satisfied at the level of accommodation given to the athletes. At the time of this report, for the teachers training college competition, Far North Region is leading the medal count with a total of 23 medals, 9 in gold. But on the overall classification table, the Central Region tops with 42 medals in total, 25 gold, while Littoral is third with 47 medals, 11 of them in gold. The first from the bottom is the Southwest Region with 9 medals in total, 1 in gold. But the Southwest will be hoping to grab a second gold medal when the boys football team of GSS Mueba Ninong from Kupe Maningoba Division plays the final. In swimming, Day 2 of the National Swimming Championship comes up this Saturday at the Olympic Swimming Pool in Sitesik. Over 6 clubs, amongst them that from FAP, will be participating for positioning.
Smart, and we come back still in sports to these interesting images of amputee footballers who concluded a football tournament in Boya. It was aimed at assisting them showcase their talent and also demonstrate their strengths during the final in Boya, which was organized by the Handicap Center in Mutengene, which has been existing for over 40 years now and coordinated by the Diocese of Breya. It was attended by Indomitable Lion Phi Collins, and a team from the Northwest region carried the day. More with Rex Afon from Boya.
During the final of the Amputee football tournament, organized by the Associated Rehabilitation Center for the Handicapped, ASH, the team from Bamenda in the Northwest region triumphed over their opponents from the Southwest region by 3-1. It was an exciting encounter, with both teams showcasing tactical skills aimed at breaking down the opposition defense.
I can say this is not the first time that we have been winning. We have won matches. We play in Douala too, and what makes us to play well is the training. Giving effort by our coach that will encourage us to train.
Among those who watched the match from the stands was Indomitable Lion Phi Collins, who expressed his amazement at the skills and determination of the players living with disabilities.
It's always a pleasure for me to chip in something each time I can, to support people that don't have the opportunity, to profit from the sports that they love, which is football. So always coming around to support them and achieving something. It's always my almost pleasure to give back to my community. Honestly, I was surprised the technique and how they managed to play with the coaches. For me, I was amazed. We're happy. It was entertaining. We're very happy that we came here today. So I'm going back with a very satisfaction.
For the organizers, this event was a platform for these athletes to display their talents and prove that their abilities are not limited by their condition.
Amputees all the way from the northeast and southwest province regions to come and play among themselves. Our intention is to showcase to the world that disability is not inability. We work with them, we see them through the assistance of the International Committee on the Because, and we produce their artificial legs. So while they are with us, we see that they have a lot of talent. So we decided to bring out this talent.
In front of a cheering crowd, the Bamenda team celebrated their hard-fought victory as they lifted the trophy in triumph.
Thanks, Rex. And that report brings us to the end of this edition of the News Today, Friday on Equinoxe Television. Thank you, viewers, for always being with us. Our programs will continue this evening. Equinoxe Swab will be yours at 7 p.m. and the news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. Have a blessed weekend in the company of programs on Equinoxe Television. Bye-bye for now.